We're in the midst of a huge East Coast snowstorm right now. Currently, it's sleeting, and you can hear the sleet bouncing against the snow that's already fallen on the ground. Amidst the snowstorm, I'm going to bring you my opinion of Caught by Love, the winter escape series from Hallmark. So, this is a movie with a tropical setting. The characters are Annie and Jake. Annie's going on vacation to this tropical location because her friend was not able to go. So her friend said, I already booked this trip. All of my bags have been packed. Go in my place because I don't want to lose my money. So Annie's like, okay. So she shows up at this resort, and as is classic with a lot of Hallmark movies, she runs into Jake, literally. And they make eye contact. She's checking him out, thinking that he's cute. Of course, you can tell that by the look on her face. He's checking her out, thinking that she's cute. So after they collide, they go their separate ways, and Annie checks in and goes to her room, and she's really fascinated with it because the towels are like folded in at like little swans. And in the meantime, her friend calls her and says, hey, if you checked in. And she's like, yeah, thanks so much for like giving me this trip because I really needed this relaxation time. So she's relishing the tropical resort. And in the meantime, we find out more about Jake. Jake is working with a woman who's his co-worker. Jake owns his own company and he solves mysteries. So him and his co-worker are trying to solve this mystery. So his co-worker, who is a woman, she goes undercover and is actually working at the resort so that she can like go into the different rooms, and like it helps to have somebody on the inside talking to the guests and like being able to access things that a regular person couldn't. So you see them, in Jake's room, Jake and his coworker looking at through photos and talking about the different guests and trying to figure out who stole a necklace. There's a necklace that has been stolen and it's in the papers and everything. Jake is trying to figure out who stole the necklace. And a clue would be somebody at the resort is gonna buy the necklace. They're gonna buy this necklace from somebody, but he doesn't know who is gonna make this purchase. He just knows the person is at the resort. But the person that's making the purchase might not necessarily know that the necklace is stolen. He just knows he needs to find this person so that when they make the purchase, he can then figure out how the thief can be captured. So he would have to tell the people who hired him to get this information. He'd have to tell them, hey, look, this person bought the necklace from this person, so maybe you can figure out who stole the necklace. So he starts talking to different, the different guests within the resort. Annie and Jake continue to make eye contact. And then when she sees Jake going into somebody's room, she knows it's not his room. She boldly goes into the room and confronts him. Why are you in this person's room? Jake was trying to figure out if this person was responsible for, or the person might know who stole the necklace. So she doesn't know this is what he's doing. So they kind of argue and they're in somebody else's room, which I thought was a little bit off-putting. I'm just like, the woman comes into the room and they're arguing, so they quickly go out the back way because Annie lives next door to the room that they were in. So since he tells Annie about what he's doing, she wants to help. And you find out that Annie likes helping him because it kind of reminds her of the career that she gave up because her mom got sick. She wants to go to law school, and she also wants to become a lawyer. So she tells Jake, well, look, I had to give up law school, my dream of law school, because my mom got sick. She's fine now, but, when my mom was sick, I had to start working. and I couldn't go to law school. But when my mom got better, I was just kind of comfortable working. I just didn't really feel like I really didn't have the courage or the gumption to leave my job and start going back to law school. So they find out more about each other. Jake tells her, "Oh, this is my own company. I have a lot riding on this. I need this money because owning your own business is really expensive." And so they connect and they actually meet, they actually get close to some of the guests, talking to each guest to figure out who is going to purchase this necklace. And so they go from guest to guest, and it's kind of time consuming because, of course, you're going to have red herrings because this is a mystery. A few times they think they found the guest who is going to purchase the necklace, and it turns out that they were wrong. There's a lovely older couple who is basically on their second honeymoon, and her husband actually romances her with serenades her with a little band, like near like a gazebo or something. And Jake and Annie see this because they think that the man is going to go and purchase the necklace, but it turns out he just wants to surprise his wife with this little serenade and everything. So all of these things happen, and at the very end, you find out that the person who's actually going to buy the necklace is actually someone who works there, not a guest. And they were like really taking time focusing on each person that's staying in the hotel versus focusing on the staff, which was a mistake on their part. So they figure it out, mystery solved, and of course there's an element of danger near the end when they actually find out who, is actually going to buy the necklace. And at the very end, of course, they end up being together, and Jake tells Annie, he whispers something in her ear. I believe it's the fee that he's going to get from solving the mystery because it's a big mystery. He was saying if you're open to it, maybe it could put a little dent in the amount of money that you would need for law school. He kind of says it teasingly, but they end up together at the end. I did like this movie a little bit better than the other ones Hallmark has been doing recently. Here's why. I think it's because there was a mystery going on and they were working together trying to solve something. So every time that they would do something, it would bring you one step, I guess, closer to finding out the answer to what they were trying to determine, to the thief. That really helped bring the story forward. Another thing I wanted to say about this resort they were staying at, I don't remember the name of the place, but it's a tropical location and it is really pretty. So having that nice, pretty scenery really helped me to like the movie. I found that really, I found the vivid blue water just breathtaking. So check it out. And if you've seen Caught by Love, let me know what you think about it and if you liked it. And on that note, as I always do when I talk about a Hallmark movie, check out my romance book bundle. It's 5 winter-themed books. You will love them. And the one that I wanted to talk about is Loving Luke. Loving Luke is the story about Luke and Kim. When Luke and Kim were in high school, they dated, and then he abandoned her when she was still in high school. He just left, and she never knew what happened to him. It's 8 years later. She's gone on to college, gotten her degree, and now she's back home because she left and went to college, and then she actually became a CPA, and she was working and everything. She caught her fiance cheating on her, and she came back home because she lost her job and she needed a place to stay. Then Luke comes storming into her bakery because she's working in the family bakery again, demanding information from her, and she has not seen him in 8 years. So if you want to know why he disappeared 8 years ago and why he wants to suddenly talk to her after 8 years, you need to read Loving Luke. It has over 100 5-star ratings and reviews. You should check out all of my books. Wonderful reviews, over 300 5-star ratings and reviews. You can't beat that. And it's for one low price. You can get all of these wonderful stories. If you like Hallmark movies, you will love the books. The books are better than a Hallmark movie. I can guarantee you. So check them out and enjoy the rest of your day. And if you're in the midst of the snowstorm, stay safe and let me know how you're doing.